In other words, as governor, let us say the army wants me to do something just because it's military government and it's not right. It was not likely I'll do it. Particularly if I know it's not right. I will go and meet my boss. Oh, guys, I don't think this is right. If something was being discussed in the council, and when I saw where the argument was going, I tried to discourage my boss from continuing along his line of argument. And I told him, I said, excuse me, sir, if you continue on this, it will be difficult for me to defend you. Obasanjo is a hard-working man. He may have his reasons here and there, but he was an effective man, hard-working, conscientious, and I want to believe he was honest.
Before we round up, I look at it when General Aduwo was removed and you were posted to West, and it was because maybe General Obasanjo wanted OAU to be nationalized, and eventually General Aduwo have to go and to go and meet the old premier, that is Chief Obafemi, Jeremiah Awolowo, and maybe General Obasanjo got angry and removed him after 1 month and put you there, and you spent 3 years. How are you able to stabilize the relationship between General Obasanjo and Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and there was no problem till today?
It was never discussed anywhere. I know each of them happened to be elderly people. Obasanjo was my boss. He never told me or directed or insisted that this is the way this must be done and so on. And if they didn't consider me competent, they should not have made me governor. So I thought I could act on my own. And then, of course, Awolowo, what is the appropriate word now? I mean, it's a big Iroko tree. So it's an enlarged Iroko tree. So a young, well-trained man or boy, as the case may be, if well-trained, he cannot go and show disrespect to a man of that type. You know, so why shouldn't I respect him? Okay, so even if, let us assume that they told me something at Dodan Barrack, as it was in those days, which I didn't consider proper, I was not going to do it. I was not going to do it, and this is why I just felt that within me also, I had certain manner of behavior that I created for myself. One, that I'm a governor. It doesn't mean somebody you could just come and dictate anything to me. First, I had a name to protect. That is, I must have an opinion on any issue. And when I say I, that opinion is an aggregate of what I think, my friends, including my children, if they've grown up to make contribution, my relations, and those who wish me well. That is one. And when I say me, it embodies or embodied these people. Second is where the institution I represent. Of course, the first one I told you when I say me, including my parents, I want to let people know I'm well mannered, I'm well trained, and I have parents who could guide me because my parents were alive when I was governor. Okay, and then I had them, the institution that I represented, the army itself. I came from the army. Don't forget that the Navy is there, the Air Force is there. I come from the army. And I had colleagues. I want those who, you see, there's nobody who succeeds in life without the help of somebody or some people. So some people who are appointed to some positions, it is some people who recommend them. Have you ever had a man recommending himself?
No, sir.
And in fact, some of those who are involved in appointing a man to a position don't know the man, but they hear his reputation. Do you understand? Now, you don't want to do anything to make those people regret recommending you. So you just have to do what is normal and right and reasonable. I don't know whether you understand.
Yes, I understand.
Then, of course, what is right and what is wrong? You ought to know what is right and what is wrong. In other words, as governor, let us say the army wants me to do something just because it's military government and it's not right. It was not likely I'll do it. Particularly if I know it's not right. I will go and meet my boss. Oh, guys, I don't think this is right. Okay. For example, I won't go into too much details, but I just give you...
You have to let us know because this is history now. And
it's something was being discussed in the council. And when I saw where the argument was going, I tried to discourage my boss from continuing along his line of argument. And I told him, I said, excuse me, sir, if you continue on this, it will be difficult for me to defend you in the council. This was a discussion before the council meeting, that if you stand on this, it will be difficult for me to defend you. Okay. And of course, because you see, if you take a position opposed to that of your boss, and he loses, I can tell you, you are already in bad shape. But I just told him, if you follow this argument, it will be difficult for me to defend you. But it appeared he didn't care. And of course, it wasn't the contest, but the side I belonged to went through. So I can't go beyond that.
No, sir, but working with General Obasanjo, was he a listening leader? Was he politically compliant, or was he just a military person?
First, he's my boss. So I cannot be here now and be judging my boss. Yes, that's number one. Number two, Obasanjo is a hard-working man. he may have his reasons here and there, but he was an effective man, hardworking, conscientious, and I want to believe he was honest. You give Obasanjo a book like this, I'm telling you, by the time you get to a meeting for a discussion on the book in the morning, I don't know how he did it, but he had digested the entire thing.
And he dissected it.
And that is the major character between him and some leadership I read in newspaper. And then the crop of leadership we have today in the country. I think some people just want to be governor or commissioner for the name, for the prestige associated with those positions. But they lack knowledge. They lack innovation. And they have no capacity for making efforts.
So it's just a failure. So you're talking about content of character and strength of character and content of value.
Yes, value, knowledge. Okay.
So Obasanjo was he's hardworking, really.
As I said, it's my boss, but I can say this on his behalf while he's not here. But you don't criticize your boss. Yes.
Let's quickly go to your state before we round up now. Your state, Kogi, came into a very, which is also my state anyway. You know, I'm from Kogi State too, and you are our elder statesman, you are our father, and we look up to you in many ways. It came into very bad lights recently during the election when the very young governor Yabilo was said to have. The election was very rough. There were deaths everywhere. There were a whole lot of fulbalo and all of it. And as a statesman in that state, we felt how would General Jemibewon and some other elites of the state feel because of the kind of election where the PDP woman leader was born and her house was burned. She died in the house, and there were a lot of what can I call it? Pocket of crisis here and there, gunning people, tear gassing people, and the election appears to be much like a war. How did you feel? Because some people say, oh, General Jemibewon is on the side of the governor. Some say, no, the general is not on the side. The general is just non-alignment. So are you non-alignment, or you are also complacent, or you compatible with the governor?
Anyway, first of all, incidentally, before the election came, or very close to the election, maybe probably about a week to the election, I had traveled. But I have been part of all the activities leading to the election, and particularly in my senatorial district, which includes Lokoja and so on.
Kogi West.
Kogi West, so to say, Kogi West. They always held meetings in my house in Abuja. So I had a clear idea, and they seem to feel happy anytime I turn up at such meetings. Of course, you know, the party has produced not less than 3 governors, and sometimes when these governors attend meetings, they occupy such influential position that people don't honestly make contribution, but they believe if I'm there, it checks a few days. So I try to be there for the good of the state, or for the good of the senatorial district and the state. And of course, I went to the United States for a follow-up of a medical test, and people were calling me, telling me what was happening, to the extent that, in fact, a helicopter came to Ayetoro, where in firing from there, they killed someone. So I got to know. I cannot claim, but I wasn't around, and even if I were around, there was nothing I could have done. But I thought to, as you say this, it's unfortunate, but I have tried not to make public a statement.
Were you angry? Were you insulted? Were you infuriated? Because this is your state, and you are an elder statesman, one of the most respected elder statesmen. I think after General Jemibewon, we'll be talking about General Ogbeha and some other generals. It's almost a state of generals, just like Niger State. So are you slighted? I mean, you have been an administrator for more than 4 years. You have been a minister. You have led command in the army. I mean, what do you feel?
Not feeling bad not against one individual, that such things should take place in my state and indeed in Nigeria. Because, you see, let's be honest, I don't think really there's any state that you can say, oh, what they did here is excellent. Okay? There were atrocities all over the states in Nigeria. It's just that one state was much more pronounced than another state. Okay? So this is it. But you see, like I said, I don't want, because the chap there is a young chap, and he had every opportunity in the world to move the state forward. In fact, if he had done the right thing in his first coming, he probably would have had little or no opposition in second term. But I don't want to criticize, but I think it's unfortunate that they give the state that bad name, because that's what it appears to in my view. But now that it has happened, whatever we could do, I think we should do it to give support to the governor, not because we believed that the way he came was the best way, but again, the matter, of course, has gone to Supreme Court, and I think they have decided, or haven't they?
Yeah, no, they've not. I don't think so. Still on it.
Then if they have not, I think we better just stop here then. Okay. Because I'm a lawyer, and if something is before court, and we don't. But certainly, the election could have been better than what than the way it went.